Hey guys, it's Heather from Kell and today I am making a fun video all about Instagram tips for if you are wanting to start, or maybe you already have a planner Instagram. So we are going to cover my tips for a planner Instagram. I will letter them here so that you can see my tips. And I will post this picture on my Instagram as well so that you can refer back to it, or can also list the main tips in the video. So, tips for a planner Instagram. This was a requested video by some of my followers, and I was really excited to make this. So I started my Instagram account in September of 2015. I cannot even believe it's almost been 3 years since I joined Instagram for planners. And the reason that I started my planner Instagram is because I had just discovered the Happy Planner and I was obsessed. And I saw that a lot of other people had a planner Instagram. And so I wanted to do that too. I didn't want to bombard my personal friends and family on my personal Instagram with pictures of planners. They probably would have thought I was crazy. So I started a separate planner Instagram. And when I was trying to, my first tip, before I get ahead of myself, I'm going to say that my first tip would be to create a catchy, unique Instagram handle, which a handle is the same thing as a username. Now, when I started mine, I had gotten married, maybe 4 months before I started my Instagram account. So we were newlyweds, and I was trying to come up with my Instagram handle or username, and our wedding hashtag was hashtag Kell of a good time. And one of my friend's husbands actually came up with it. We were, when we first got engaged, I think we were using like Matthew and Heather get married or Kell wedding or something really lame and boring. And then one of my friend's husbands was like, oh my gosh, you should do Kell of a good time because it sounds like hell of a good time, and that's hilarious. And so that's what we ended up doing for our wedding hashtag. And so that had happened 4 months before I started my Instagram account. And so when I was starting my planner Instagram, my husband was like, oh, you should do Kell of a plan, kind of like Kell of a good time. That's funny. Like, oh, that's one hell of a plan. And so that's kind of where my username came from. So when you're picking a username, you probably want to use a username that maybe has something to do with your name and something to do with what kind of pictures you're going to be posting. So you could do something with the word plan in it, or planner, or create, or maker, or something where people know right away that when they look at your account, it's going to be something crafty. But if you're using it for not just planner stuff, maybe you're incorporating different things, you can kind of just get creative and come up with a name that fits you and what you're going to be posting about. And then, of course, you want to go onto Instagram and search the users and make sure that no one else has a username similar to yours. So that is my first tip, is to create a catchy and unique Instagram handle. And I would definitely create one. Well, I say definitely. I would create one just for planning, where it can be all about planning. Not everybody does. A lot of people do planner and personal stuff on their same Instagram, which is totally fine. But I personally separated it. So I guess it's a personal preference, but that's how I did it. So that would be my first tip. Create a catchy and unique Instagram handle. My second tip for a planner Instagram would be to use current and popular hashtags. So that is how a lot of times you get found on Instagram. So hashtags, that's when you put like hashtag happy planner. If you're using a happy planner, you would want to put that in the caption or in the first comment of all of your pictures. And then that way, if I wanted to see someone using a happy planner, I might search hashtag happy planner And that's where the pictures pop up, and that's where you can find new people. So you definitely want to be sure that you're using hashtags. If you don't know what some of the popular hashtags are, I have a video on my channel about planner hashtags. I will try to remember to link that in the description. If I have forgotten to put it there, please feel free to leave a comment to remind me, because sometimes I forget. But definitely use current and popular hashtags, because that's a great way for your account to be found when people are searching for that topic. And so another tip would be to tag companies of product you are using. But I'm going to add, but don't be spammy. Okay, let's talk about this. Tag companies. So if I'm using a happy planner, I am going to tag the happy planner in my picture. That does not mean I'm going to tag them in every single picture, and I'm not going to tag them in posts that don't have anything to do with them. And most of the time, if I'm using another brand, like maybe I'm using Planners Anonymous, but in my happy planner, I wouldn't tag the happy planner. I would be tagging Planners Anonymous, because whatever the focus of your picture is, that's the company you want to tag. Don't be spammy, because you don't want them to be like, oh my gosh, this person is tagging me in every single thing when it doesn't relate to me. But you do want them to see you. So if you're using Papermate flares, tag Papermate. If you're using your Canon selfie printer, tag Canon. If you're using the happy planner, tag the happy planner. If you're throwing in a Ray Dunn mug in the corner of your picture, tag Ray Dunn. Tag the companies, and you want to do that for two reasons. One, then the company sees you, and then if they offer some kind of affiliate program or PR program, then you're on their radar. If you're making quality photos, you're on their radar. And then another reason is when you tag a company, I'm going to show you. If I go to the happy planner on Instagram, and then if I click this picture right here of the little person, it's going to show me all of the pictures that they've been tagged in. So that's another way for other accounts to find you. So not only is the happy planner getting alerted, but people can then click that picture and go see pictures of people using that product. And so that's another way for people who use the happy planner to find your account if you want them to find it. So that is one reason that you want to tag that's another reason that you want to tag the companies. So the next step the next tip I'm going to give you is to edit your photos before posting. If you are just like straight up taking a picture with your phone or your camera and then you're just posting it right away, the picture's just not going to be the best quality. These cameras do take great pictures now, but it's still just not the best quality. So you want to edit them using an editing app on your phone. I use PicTapGo. I have a video on my channel. Again, I will try to remember to link it in the description. That shows you how I use PicTapGo to edit my pictures. It's super fast. I think it's like 4 clicks to edit a photo, so it's super fast, but it makes your picture just look 1,000 times better when you edit it. So for example, let me pull up. For an example, earlier today, I posted this picture of a checklist that I needed to post on Instagram. And this is the picture that I took unedited. You can see it's kind of dark. The colors are kind of weird looking. But this is unedited. And I could have posted that and it would have looked okay, but it wouldn't have looked that great. But then this is what it looks like once I've edited it. So the colors are more vibrant. It's more crisp. It just looks a lot better. So that was the original. Oops, that was the original, that was the edited one. So definitely edit your photos. I personally use PicTapGo. I'll write that right here. PicTapGo right now is only on iPhone, so if you have an Android, you can't use it. I know there's tons of other apps out there that you can edit your photos, but I definitely suggest editing your photos before posting. Another tip, I probably should have made this one number 4 because you would do this before editing, but I say use a non-distracting background. Now, I'm not going to say plain because you could use a decorative background and it not be distracting. It can be complementary. Like sometimes I use yellow or blue in my background. Sometimes I just use the white of my desk. But there's some people who use like a wooden type background. There's people who use colorful ones. I personally think it looks just more professional and more clear and more crisp when you use a solid color. Some people kind of mix up the colors, and you don't have to use colors, you can just use white, but I think that a lot of times it's distracting when you are using patterns in the background, because then the people aren't looking at your planner, they're looking at the pattern of the background. And also, if you're wanting to get regrammed by companies, like maybe you want Papermate to regram you because you use their pen, or maybe you're hoping Tombow will regram you, or the Happy Planner, or whatever. If you're wanting to be regrammed, a lot of big companies have a certain way that they want their Instagram feed to look. And so they're looking for something that fits in with their feed, with the vibe of their feed. And so when you're putting decorative backgrounds, that kind of takes away your opportunity to be put on their feed, because if they are going with all white backgrounds or all solid backgrounds, then your picture's automatically not able to be regrammed because it doesn't fit in with their vibe. So that's why I'm not going to say don't use patterns, because if that's you and that's what you want your Instagram to look like, have at it. But it's just something to keep in mind that some companies, if you're wanting them to regram your stuff, they have a vibe that they're looking for. So I personally use white, just the white of my desk, and I have a blue foam board. So this is my blue foam board. It's just a foam board that I got at Hobby Lobby, and this one's blue. It's like a turquoise. And then I have a yellow one as well, and it's just a little foam board I can throw on my desk and take a picture, and that's personally what I use. I got them at Hobby Lobby, but they sell them at craft stores, CVS, Target, all kinds of stuff like that, and it's just really easy to use something like that. So that's how I do it. So yeah, I'm trying to think of what else. Oh, number 6, be a part of the community. The way that social media works is your stuff is seen more if people are interacting with you. So you want to go comment on people's photos. You want to like their photos. When you comment on their photos, you want to ask a question or something so that they'll respond to you. And same thing with your photos. When you post your photos and you put your captions, you want to write some kind of caption or make some kind of photo where people comment on your photo, and then you can respond to their photo, because the more that they interact with you, the more often that your photo is going to show up in their feed. Now, I know that it can take a lot of time to respond to comments. I'm personally really bad about it. I try to respond to all the comments on my photos, but it doesn't always happen. But it does help your feed if you're interacting with people. So don't just post a photo and then leave Instagram. You really need to interact, be a part of the community. The planner community is so much fun. Instagram is so much fun with the planner community, so are the Facebook groups, and it's just a great way to make new friends. But when you like something, hit the like button. When you have something to say about a post, leave a comment, leave a positive, uplifting comment. People love that kind of stuff. So just really, really try to be a part of the community. And then my final tip, I'm going to try and keep it at 7, mainly because I'm almost out of paper. But my final tip is just going to be to have fun and be true to you. You will notice that a lot of times in the planner community, people want you to act the way that they act. And when you don't act that way, when you act like yourself and you do things your way, a lot of people get offended. A lot of people think you're in it for the wrong reasons. A lot of people just make assumptions about you. And you can get really bogged down in that. You can get really bogged down in the negativity and the comparison and all of that. But my biggest tip for a planner Instagram would be to not get into that. Remember that comparison is the thief of joy. Whatever you do for your Instagram, as long as you're having fun and being true to yourself, that's all that matters. I mean, that's why we start planner Instagrams, is to have fun and to share what we make, what we like. So staying true to yourself and having fun, you're going to have a blast on your planner Instagram. So those are probably my top 7 tips for having a planner Instagram account. If you have any questions about a planner Instagram account or planner social media or anything like that, feel free to drop them in the comments, and I will do my best to follow number 6 and respond to your comments. And you can also respond to each other, help each other out. I hope this video helps some of you who have thought about starting a planner Instagram, or maybe you just started one and you don't really know what to do with it. I highly suggest it. This planner Instagram has changed my life, and I'm so thankful for it. So if you like this video, I hope you hit the like button. If you want to see more of my videos, hit that subscribe button, and happy planning.